Okay, I'm going to show you the space. I showed this a while ago, showed pictures of it a while ago, but today I'm going to really explain what's wrong. I'm in my barn, you can probably tell. That room is finished. This room behind this door is finished, but it's going to have to be refinished because there's water damage. Because of the previous owner. Previous owner was going to make this barn into another apartment. She never got heat in here. She put drywall and insulation in. She put a ceiling in. But there's one thing she didn't do. The thing she should have done first, and that was to replace the roof. Because since she passed away, it hasn't been enough time for it to get as bad as it has. Now it's gotten considerably worse since we've owned it because it's been 3 years of rain and stuff. But there's a clue at how much water damage is up here. The drywall from up there fell. The insulation is still there, but that's going to have to be ripped out because that's probably soaked in water. We bought it, only one half of the roof was bad, and it wasn't that bad. There was like 3 holes in it. But that was August 2018. We moved in here in January of 2019, and it's gotten worse. The insulation and stuff was all over there. It wasn't over this far. This was all clear. Now, some of this is probably from animals. I think birds and animals probably dripped that off. But that drywall's fallen. That drywall fell. That was still here when I was last up here. That drywall fell. That insulation fell. That's where it was up there. This is going to stay. This should be fine. Have to dry out. But there's the big problem. Right there. That roof needs to be replaced. We had planned on doing it in spring of 2019. And then we had some financial problems. And then after that, it's been... the showstopper has really stopped the show on this barn. If it hadn't been for the showstopper, this roof would probably be replaced now. It probably would be completely... the rotted parts of the rafters would have been fixed. The roof would have been new. And then I probably would have also done this part of the roof. This part of the roof now needs to be done before I build the model railroad, because you see that board there has mildew on it. So there's this part of the roof is leaking, and if it wasn't leaking, this wouldn't have fallen. So there's some small leaks on this side. This part, I can put the fiberglass insulation back. And I'm not sure if I'm going to I'll put insulation through here again. And that will be the fiberglass insulation, and drywall this again. And this ceiling is going to be extended into this part. There's more holes in the ceiling, in the roof. This wall is going to come, the drywall is going to come off. If there's any insulation in the middle, it's going to come out. And there'll be a wall built this way, the length of the barn, roughly 35 feet. Sort of. Probably about 30-foot wall down right about here. And then there'll be another one like this side of the snow pile, right around the snow pile, allowing for 2.5 feet of bench work on both sides of the wall, 2.5 feet on the outside walls, 2.5 feet or to 3 feet on the end wall, and on the end wall over there, and the other side of that, and that end wall. And double peninsulas, 4 decks. The lowest deck will probably be about the height of that 4x4. That will allow people operating the Finger Lakes Northern section to sit down, because it's going to be a lot of switching. And this is going to be the Manchester, this part is going to be the Manchester branch. It's going to have a cement plant, another big industry, probably some other industries, because this will be a probably 30 foot industrial branch. And then on this side will be Farmington Yard, and then it'll go around the peninsula and underneath the steel mill yard, which will be on the other peninsula and the other side of this one. So it'll be a yard, be Farmington Yard, and then the wall, and then the steel mill yard on the other side of that. And then on the other side will be another peninsula that will be over there will be the steel mill. It'll go from one side all the way around the peninsula and down. So that'll be like the approximately 35 foot wall, 34 foot wall, 34 foot peninsula times 2, 68 feet of steel mill. They'll probably have 2 or 3 basic oxygen furnaces on it, because that's going to be a big steel mill. But the roof has to be done. That's the first thing. Also there's got to be some foundation work done, because somebody messed up the foundation. And then it has to dry out. And there's some floor pieces that has to be replaced. Then you have to build the walls down the middle. I'll probably be able to insulate this section, just get some of it done, because this is dry, and that'll probably be styrofoam insulation, probably two layers, because with a 4x4 that would be enough room for me to put 2 layers of insulation, which would really help hold the heat in. 2 layers is better than 1. The big obstacle in really construction after a piece of glass caught in my shoe is these 4x4s with these iron rods. I would like to take them out, but I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if that would work. So yeah, the roof is done. A lot of all that fiberglass insulation and the drywall that's all fallen is all going to be ripped out, and it's going to be tossed right in the dumpster with the roof, because the roof doesn't fill a dumpster, and he's going to leave the dumpster there for a while. But once we get the money, then that will be taken care of. So then this will not be getting any more damage. I should bring up a shovel and shovel the snow. However, because those boards are broken, I don't want to walk over there too far, because I don't want to fall through, because I am on the 2nd floor. But it'd be easy to just take stuff out, just open the hayloft door, and just throw it out onto the concrete below, and then it can be picked up and tossed in the dumpster. Or if the dumpster is right by the barn, it could be tossed right into the dumpster. And then that will all be insulated. That'll also probably be too thick, because that's a 6x6 or an 8x8 across there, and that's an actual 2x4, I believe. And I'll have insulation there. That little circle is an outside light, so that will have to be left accessible, sort of. I'll probably put a removable section over that, so that can be reached. And then we got to rewire the barn, because the whole barn has to be rewired, because you don't know what's going on with it. And I have to get heat in here. Although once I get insulation, I might just have space heaters under the layout, because I would have to have heat runs built in, and that would be costly, and I have to have a furnace put in the basement. So it might be just put space heaters in here. That would probably be cheaper, and with it insulated, it should hold the heat better and keep out the cold, especially if I do 2 layers of foam insulation on the exterior walls. So that is what has to be done up here. New roof, have to have the floor fixed. It has to dry out, which will probably entail just leaving that door open and that window open and just letting it air out, probably fans. It'd be nice if I could afford professionals to handle water damage to fix it up, but that's expensive. I can't afford that, so I'll just have to let it sit. And yeah, so that's the layout space for the Binghamton Western Model Railroad, the 40 by 25 foot 4-deck layout. That'll model the Finger Lakes, the freelance Finger Lakes Northern, with a steel mill, a brewery, cement plant, and some other industries, including a large industry. Also, we'll have Bailey Softwoods and Wilson Lumber. That's the one thing I haven't mentioned is Wilson Lumber. That idea came to me from a train player. There's one railroad on that has a Wilson Lumber, and I figured, Jason Wilson, we'll have Wilson Lumber. Wilson Lumber will probably be on the Manchester branch, and Bailey Softwoods will be probably in Cohocton. It'll be probably based in Cohocton, New York, because I'm going to have a few industries there where the Finger Lakes Northern will interchange the Bath and Hammondsport. So we'll have that, and I still haven't planned out all the industries for that. I have plenty of time. It's probably be 5 years before this is ready, if that soon. But yeah, the barn is solid. It is solid. It's not going anywhere. It just need to fix that. Yeah, this is why I haven't done the big layout yet, because the space is long from ready. That crunch was the drywall breaking. I stepped on this piece of drywall. So stay tuned for when as I get this fixed up. I will definitely be posting videos on that, and I'll definitely be posting doing a video when the roof is replaced. And stay tuned for updates about the modular layout that will be on the Buffalo, Rochester, and Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Ohio industrial branch that ran in Warsaw, New York, serving the freight depot that was recently torn down, the elevator factory, and a couple other places. So that is the end of this video. This will be in the model railroading playlist. I now have playlists on my channel involving 2018 rail fanning, 2020 rail fanning, 2019 rail fanning. There's only one video on that. 2022 rail fanning, model railroading, music. I think there's more to playlist, but I can't remember. That's all. Bye.